Hello my dear Pisces, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between October 16 and October 31st, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. And I used the Mary L Tarot with Mary White, and I already shuffled and chosen your cards. So this is my shorter mid-month reading, and I will come back with a longer 15 card spread for the beginning of November. So I will just tune in for a few seconds to you Pisces in your reading. Okay, so my dear Pisces, this is your past. It might be September going into beginning of October. Sometimes even go further back. So this is a page of discs. Page of disc is like the seed you were born into, the person that you were when you came, before you got like the world was domesticating you and conditioning you. Of course you came with past life memories and past life traumas, but you were kind of sent direct from God or from the divine, like the latest update when you came to this world. And first we need to learn from our I'm not allowed to say caretakers because that was about school, but parents, we say parents then. Your parents were here to guide you, to take care of you, to see to that you learned how to survive on earth and how to do well here on earth. So they had a job and they did it, but in the process you lost pieces of yourself, and now it's the time to regain this, to remember again who you are. Okay, so page of discs is like learning, it's like being a disciple, but there's a balance act between wanting to be too good, like wanting to prove yourself and thereby throwing away everything that's you for the process of acting, like coming off as loyal and dependable and a person to count with and a person to include, and to actually be your natural self, to develop into the seed that you are supposed to. So page of discs, when you have this card, you should also be give attention to if you are having dreams. I would urge you to write them down, just as like a practice of giving an awareness to your dreams. And also you might have like other kind of downloads from the universe. If you are a singer and songwriter, for example, you might get inspiration with new tunes. If you have some other type of vision when it comes to career or love, there might be inspirational times. You have this certain beautiful opening back to the source with the page of discs. Sometimes this might be a person in your life also, like a person willing to learn, something new. And here we have the Ten of Swords, so that's kind of the end of your conditioning. And it's rather bluntly, it's like everything that you have learned, you need to take that away and find out who you are really deep inside. So the Ten of Swords is it's like harvesting all your old survival skills. When you were conditioned by your parents, or the one that was taking care of you when you were growing up, they also traumatized you in different ways, and you got skills to survive this, because when we come, we are so very fragile, and we need love and we need support from others to survive. We can see this with children on orphanages or otherwise not being well taken care of, that they might develop disease and actually die because of the lack of love. You can have like everything else being in place for you, but love is also equally important. So therefore, when you meet resistance or not getting the love that you want, or not getting love for the one that you are starting to be conditioned or learn certain patterns. For example, for a child to survive parents that doesn't approve of who they are, they might either be very loud and trying to get attention and trying to get their parents to love them anyway, like a fruitful attempt to always get attention, either for doing good. It can be a child trying to do the best they can, so they will get the love from their parents. And some children don't even try that. They can do the worst they can to get the parents' attention. Other children, they can decide like, I have to live without. So they can become more distant, maybe flee from a situation that's filled with conflicts, or stop talking with people that are difficult, or have different kind of, like silent treatment and things like this. And this Ten of Swords wants to harvest all those things that you have learned but you don't longer need, because now you need to go from conditioning to actually become your actual self. So if you want love, for example, you are going to be more genuine in your approach of it. And here we have a Four of Swords. So it seems for many Pisces, or maybe you have a person in your life acting like this, being using the silent treatment. So here we are talking about the survival strategy, silent treatment, or pretending like everything is all right, or pretending like there's no conflict or there's no problem, trying to keep like your pulse in chess and not getting upset or stressed. Many of you might be dealing with air signs that's behaving like this, but this might also be you. There's it's like an internal struggle between what's really you and your conditioning. So Four of Swords, it might also be that you have been forced to sacrifice something and you're enduring this by putting the lid on. And yes, it's like having a truth but not really peace. Okay, that was the past, and here we have your now. And here we have a King of Wands, and it comes underneath the Page of Discs. So it seems like your soul anyway is making its way into your body, because this is kind of a soul's person. It might be a fire sign as well, like on the other outside of you, but inside of you, this is your soul, we can say. That's stepping down through this seed, and while the seed is growing, the soul is starting to express itself in your life. So regardless of this, that might be some kind of resistance from your environment that doesn't want you to change. You still seem to be like on a straight road towards where you want to go. And for some of you, this might go the other way, like you have a person in your life that's they don't want to compromise themselves. They want to be loved for who they are, and they are expressing themselves very strongly, and you might not like that at all. Or maybe they are coming on too strong and you want to slow them down. Maybe they are overwhelming you in some way. And here we have the Nine of Discs upside down. I think with all those nine, we have had this in, I had this in Capricorn, also in Gemini, and in some of the other signs also. The nine of the different nines have come upside down. Astrologically, we might be talking about going out of Virgo. Because we are leaving September behind, and everything that has to do with Virgo, order, organizing, being on top of things, having control, making things harmonious, seeing to that there's peace and people are behaving, and nines are also connected with the Hermit, like a state when you go deeper into yourself and define yourself. So in nine of disc particularly, it's about taking care of your needs, taking care of finding out who you really are and what you really need, and taking better care of your body, taking better care of you, having more like being more honorable towards yourself. It's also about creating an inner garden for yourself of self-acceptance. But here it's the nine of discs. So it might be still that you are meeting some resistance, that people want you to keep you with the old. They don't want you to change. They don't want you to, they kind of don't want you to succeed. It might be this sometimes as well. But well, we will see more with this. I will take the next card. And the next card is the Four of Discs upside down. So we have the Four of Swords, that's kind of silent treatment. And the Four of Discs is having, like, living in the tower. We can see this is like a person or a family living on top of a, like on the side of a mountain or a rock here, a big cliff. So that's being very safe, like the eagle on the top of the mountain. So it's the tower before it falls. It's feeling very safe, and this is no tower, so maybe no safety, or maybe you are giving up this silent treatment, or maybe you are giving up hiding. You don't want to hide anymore. You want to express yourself fully. It might also be that you are dealing with another person that has gone into hideout, and maybe they were acting like, well, I don't need anyone else, because sometimes the Nine of Discs can be this too, that you are too self-sufficient, you are too much in your head, protecting yourself from everything and not letting anyone in to your life, just taking care of yourself and your own business and not wanting anyone else to come in and cause havoc here. But this might be this view or this protection view of your life or protection that's falling. So it might mean that someone is maybe falling for your charm before they didn't, and now they do. So they maybe don't want to be without you. That can be it. Or it might be you don't want to be without another person. Maybe it was easier before to pretend like you didn't care, but here is this soul's calling, and the soul cares. So what can we do? We want to be logic and override our emotions, but the emotions are deeply connected to the search for the Holy Grail, kind of your soul's road. So even if it's not logic, it's your soul, and your soul kind of sees things from an above perspective. Your soul has a mission to do during your lifetime here, and it wants to be able to fulfill it no matter what kind of hardships that might give you personally. So it might be walls falling here, protection falling, and it's probably supposed to fall. It's probably meant like this, but it might feel you want to be logic, and maybe your soul is requiring you to do something that's illogic, or may feel unsafe. Maybe you don't want to give someone else the win, because you might have been fighting for something, maybe to justify, like not letting people behave towards you as they have always done. So you might have done some kind, like there might have been some kind of split from people because they wanted to squeeze you into a certain form or shape. And here maybe you are not able to follow through with this split, and maybe you are not supposed to. Maybe it's time to get together again and start working on something. So this is the future, and here we have the Ace of Wands. So this is someone being afraid of their mission. It might also be people don't want to come out as irrational or overly passionate or having anger issues. So it's someone holding back their own life energy a little bit, but well, it might be good. Maybe you don't have to show the world everything just yet. Maybe you need to learn to get to know yourself first before you express this outwardly. The Ace of Wands is a very strong energy card, and when you get this kind of energy at your disposal, first it can feel like, or for most people it feels like a lot of pain. When your soul is asking you to do something, you might feel a lot of pain. When you live on your own, you might not have a problem in the world, but when the soul asks you to fall in love with someone, for example, and start a new mission, like a new circle of learning, that might be very scary. You don't want to, you want to live in this blissful peace and not be disturbed in your beauty sleep. But with the Ace of Wands, you are asked to start working again, and I don't think you want to, okay? Ace of Wands, it might be a fire sign in your life also that doesn't want to start over, doesn't want to turn the page. Maybe they have a trouble leaving you behind. They might also have a trouble getting back with you. So it might be different, a little bit different for different people, but it's a hesitation. It's also this aces are talking about, the wands are talking about the hero's road, and Nine of Discs might be a person that's okay to be alone, and the masculine hero is the one that walks alone, like silent, don't need anyone else, being very strong on your own, and maybe everything of this is crumbling. You might have a partner in your life that is experiencing this, that their defenses are crumbling, and maybe they don't want to do this all alone. Maybe they don't want to be silent anymore. Maybe they don't want to just be like managing themselves, or acting really like they have the grip of everything. Maybe they want to fall apart. And that is a very good thing, because when you fall apart, this mask that you have been wearing your whole life is falling as well, and you can start anew and being this seed that you were supposed to be. So this is not something bad, it's actually very healthy, but it's like a downward spiral where you're diving deeper and deeper, maybe into depression. But it's this fire here, this spiritual fire. It's like trial by fire. When you have a lot of pain, it's feeling very uncomfortable. You might not even stand to feel your body more than a few seconds before you don't want to even be in your body. But the work is, of course, to feel this spiritual fire raging inside of you until it has healed you. Okay, so it's a little bit hesitation, but it's fine. And here we have a Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is no hesitation. So it will be hesitation first, but then you will go on with the work. Ten of Swords, like taking away those old survival skills of trying to act all cool and not needing anyone else. This is partnership, but it might be partnership that comes also, you don't want to have a partnership that costs you immensely. You're not going to compromise yourself. You want to be loved for the person that you are, not for something that you can present so other people will like you. So this partnership comes with terms. You want to be your true soul self, and not act in a way that make people love you. And the next card is King of Cups, and it comes upside down. So it might mean that many Pisces has actually it is you that's going through this. That first you have been like acting like you don't give a damn about anything, and now those walls are crumbling. So it might make you over emotional, because Pisces, from the beginning you already have a great connection with your emotions. And for guys particularly, this is not seen as a very, very masculine trait. Like, you're not supposed to have this. If you're a masculine person, you're not supposed to have emotions. So you have been fighting your own true nature for a very long time, and that is making your true self being in the shadow. And when it's in the shadow, and when it comes, like all the superpower, that's your emotions, they might come like a tsunami wave. It's this what I said with the depression. So King of Cups, like upside down, might have a drinking problem. He might have been silencing his inner voice with alcohol, or also having a very cold exterior, keeping people on an arm's length distance, or being very silent and kind of sulky, or being the, like, pretending like everything is all right. Someone of you might have been the class clown as well, to just have a surface exterior, but underneath all of this, it still was all those emotions, because this was what made up who you were. So when all of this is coming, it will be a lot of it's like if you have saved a lot of things behind a door, you have put in more and more things and closed the door, and one day you open the door, everything will kind of fall out over you. And this is this situation. So you might be overwhelmed, over emotional, crying for, you know, everything. Also, another possibility is a strong victim mentality, like feeling like the world is against you and everyone just wants to destroy your life. It's very typical for a upside down King of Cups to feel very sorry for themselves. But this is just a phase, but this is what you need to go through, my dear Pisces. But as I said, it's it's going to be for a good cause, because you are going to get to know your real you, and it will be disturbing in the beginning. Okay, so I will take a card for this Four of Swords, which I didn't expect it there, because the Page of Disc and the Ten of Swords is great together, because it kind of says that you will get free of your conditioning, and the next card is conditioning. So we have blessings here. So it might be that it's just aiming towards this certain conditioning, that this is what you're working with now. And to deal with this is actually, as I said, it's a blessing. Even if it doesn't feel like that because it's painful, it's still a blessing. The beauty of receiving and giving blessings is heaven sent. And here we saw a person that might be a little bit cold and don't want to neither give or receive. The light essence vibration of unconditional love and healing to mind and body on a cellular level is liberating and energizing. Language is in the universal forces of all that has happened in the past history. Language. Okay, set free, I guess. Language in the universal forces of all that has happened in the past is history. Okay, your past is history, this past where you were conditioned to be in a certain way. Be ready and open to receive, as well as giving blessings from all around you. So you need to start open up this old way of being very cold. It's ending, it's over. So 9 of discs and 4 of discs, like a clarification on this, and one card only. Preferably. Thank you. Driving forces. So, driving forces. We all need goals. The objective is that somewhere inside, the vibration moves us into the right direction to do what needs to be done. It feels very much like the King of Wands here, when it is required. It's all about timing. So be very aware and conscious that if you push or force something too hard, it will evaporate right before your eyes. Be perceptive and sense when it is right to set things into motion and be ready to move. So many of you might also be eager to move ahead, maybe to get someone to also open up. You're not supposed to rush things. Like, there's a lot of people going through big, specifically mental changes during this time, and people are upset because they are not used to life being this difficult. So you also need to have patience that you might not reach your goal at once. So this is the King of Wands that wants to force through here, and maybe you're not very, it's also this, that those survival skills, they were there for a reason. They were there to save you from losing more soul parts, because when you are not loved for who you are, you will start losing parts of yourself. They will go into the shadow, and when you force too fast onto someone that has this survival skills put in place, like silent treatment or whatever, and you want to push through and make them, because you want them to heal together with you, but they might not be ready. If you take away their survival skills too soon, they might experience another trauma. Maybe everyone can't take this tsunami wave of emotions. So be careful also with the people that you have in your surrounding. Let them be whatever they are. Don't try to change them. You don't want to be changed either. I'm not against you telling people like, this is painful, this is hurtful, this is what I want. You can express yourself. But if they don't want to change, you leave them to that, okay? But you don't have to stay if someone is very tied up and scared. If you want to move on with your life, that's fine, but don't force anyone to do something that they are not ready for. Maybe someone here is forced, for example, to commit or take a job that they don't feel that they are ready for. So don't freak people out with this fire. So the Ace of Wands as well. Rain dance. So rain dance, it's very much the opposite of this fire, and the fire came upside down, so that might not be so. This is another way to see this. Be like a child and jump in the puddles, dance in the rain and open your heart to that innocent joy. The vibration of rain as it dances on the pavement is pure poetry in emotion. It washes away all the buildup of dirt and grime that has accumulated on the earth. So does it wash away anything you no longer need in your life. Smell the rain, be connected to this emotion. So Ace of Wands can also be like a forest fire. Everything has burned down to the ground, and then comes the rain. So that is very fertile. But first fire, maybe aggression, breaking up, things like this, and then maybe regret sometimes, or missing someone. So everything has its place, and sometimes we don't want to be angry because we don't want to experience this, but just go on this roller coaster, whatever is. And I'm thinking that this is, we have a king here, King of Wands, Ace of Wands upside down, then we have a King of Cups upside down, and he's already lying in a puddle. So to be first in this state where you maybe broke free from something that weren't ready to move along with you, and then being a little bit sad about this, being a little bit upset about it, but still being strong enough to still stand for what you wanted in the first place, not compromising yourself. And for that I got this smell the roses. So during all when you are this emotional, or there's a lot of thing happening in your life, take time to stand still and smell the roses, because also this time of that might be a little pain, like aftermath after a storm, with the rain coming, but the storm that was before was much more than rain. Take like the essence out of that too. It's a certain sweetness to this time. You don't have to wish it all away. Savor it. Feel this heightened way of feeling, and be so happy that you are alive, even when in the midst of this the painful feelings. So, and we see the pink also going again in his body color there. Smell the roses. There. So I will read this also. How many times have you denied yourself the time to do what you want to do? Every moment you reject and refuse to give yourself permission to take this time, you are denying your rite of passage. If you are not in the flow with your vibrational energy, your chi changes in a negative way, like the Ace of Wands upside down. Take a moment to smell the roses, because you still have plenty of time for whatever else needs to be completed. Yes, take time to really be inside your body. And this Nine of Discs is about maybe not taking time to nourish your body, but don't miss this. It's important, okay? So you don't burn yourself in like burning the candle in the both ends. I will also take a card for you from the Oracle of Visions by Sarah Marchetti. It came 2 cards. One is healing. This, like, you need to take time to rest and being the healing energy of just lying in the fetal position, feeling your feelings, maybe this fire burning inside of you, or the tears, the floods that might go inside of you. It's might be different for different times. And also you have this this is a merry-go-round, and it came upside down. I really don't care for this so much with oracle cards, but it might mean that maybe you need to end a cycle for right now. Maybe you're not supposed to return right now. Maybe you need to not be in the frantic circle of working very hard, as I said here with Ace of Wands, that people might be not ready to jump into this what your soul wants just now. Maybe you need time to resettle and heal before you can jump on the merry-go-round again and like have another round with that troublesome lover, or try again to make your career, or whatever it is that you have been. It's like you have worked, and now you're at a platform, and you might even dive a little bit, like things might go down and you're supposed to be here and dwell a little bit, like moisturize a little bit in this healing puddle of water here, healing yourself before there's time for another lap in the merry-go-round. What the King of Wands here wants. The King of Wands might be another person in your life that maybe wants a second chance, taking down their walls to be able to meet you halfway, but you are not ready maybe. So it might go that way too. It might not be you that needs to wait for another person. It might be another person that needs to wait for you to heal. Okay, Pisces, I hope that helped, and I want you to take really good care, and I hope to that you will come back and look at the next part of this story, that it's for the beginning of November, and I will do this reading in the middle of October. Okay, so take care and bye-bye.